We have breaking news of a massive trade sending Elias Lindholm to the Vancouver Canucks and Andrei Kuzmenko to the Calgary Flames. And we'll break it all down for you coming up on this episode of Hattrick HQ. But before we get into it, we're proud to announce that this video is brought to you by Rentals.ca, and moves are coming. With all the rumors and reports that have been coming out around the league, fans have been expecting for a lot of major shakeups to happen around the league, which should definitely be exciting for hockey fans. Now, if you feel like you need some extra excitement in your own life, it's time to move for you as well, and Rentals.ca has you covered.
Rentals.ca is Canada's largest apartment hunting network. You can rent houses, apartments, condos, wherever you want using Rentals.ca. My favorite thing about Rentals.ca is the map. You can use the map to pinpoint exactly where you want to live, where you want to rent on any street around Canada, and you can pinpoint it. It's super clean, easy to use.
We're happy to have Rentals.ca back on board with us. They're big NHL fans. We're big NHL fans. There's no better sponsor to have here than Rentals.ca. And if you're looking to move into a new apartment, into a new home, make sure to go check out Rentals.ca down in the description, down in the pinned comment, and let them know we sent you. But with that said, let's get right into the first topic of the video today, which is massive Flames and Canucks trade. And we have a lot to go through here. And as we take a look from Chris Johnston, he says Elias Lindholm has officially been traded to the Canucks. And we have Pierre LeBrun saying that he's told that Kuzmenko has officially signed off on his no trade clause to accept a trade to Calgary. And we also see from Pierre LeBrun again, there's no extension in works for Elias Lindholm as a part of this Vancouver trade being worked on. He would be going as a rental at least at the outset. We also see here from Jay Fresh, shout out to Jay Fresh on Twitter for putting these nice charts together. He says Elias Lindholm, reportedly acquired by Vancouver, is a two-way scoring center. He's an off-puck player specializing in getting open for high-danger looks rather than spending a lot of time with possession himself. He needs to play with strong passers and puck movers to excel. And we also just take a look here at Elias Lindholm's stats. So far this season, he has 32 points in 49 games with the Calgary Flames, with a 55.5% on the faceoff dot as well, 40 blocks, 43 hits as well for Elias Lindholm. And if we're just taking a sneak peek at this, what we could potentially see play out here in Vancouver, obviously Lindholm will be that 2C behind Pettersson, the 2C they've been looking for a while, which means, Mark, that the Lotto line is going to get back together. And I know you're really excited about this trade. As a part-time Vancouver Canucks fan, you get Elias Lindholm, you get your boy for this playoff push, even if it's for a rental. I really do think this bolsters this Vancouver Canucks team, deep into the playoffs this year, if not Stanley Cup contenders.
Yeah, getting the Lotto line back together is going to be huge for the Canucks. And the nice thing is, too, you put Lindholm into the second line center. He's a guy that's going to be outstanding there defensively, offensively. And like Jay Fresh said, he does need a guy that can kind of get puck possession, kind of drive plays. And what better guy than a guy like Connor Garland? I think they're going to work perfect together. I think Garland slots right up onto the right wing with a guy like Lindholm. And I think the Canucks are in for quite a deep run, and I love this move for them.
Yeah, I definitely have to agree with you. I think this is a great trade pulled off by Patrick Allvin and the Vancouver Canucks. The full details haven't quite yet been released about this whole trade, but I really do think that, whatever they have going back the other way here, I think this is a great trade pulled off by the GM of the Vancouver Canucks here. They're really, set in place this, top six going forward now back, past the All-Star break, going into the second half of the season, going into the playoffs. I think adding a two-way, 200-foot player like Elias Lindholm is really going to help this team out on the offensive side as well as on the defensive side.
Yeah, that's a big thing. You can bring in a guy like Lindholm. He's not only going to fill out the second line center perfectly, like we've seen so many reports that the Canucks were looking for a guy like this, a guy to fill out the second line, but he's also a guy that can come in. He can contribute on the power play. He can get onto your penalty kill. He's kind of a Swiss Army knife in the sense where he can play everywhere in the lineup, top line, middle six, bottom six. I don't think you'd want to play him down there because he is too good of a player. He can play your penalty kill, power play. This man can do everything, and I think Canucks fans are in for quite an exciting ride, especially bringing a guy like this back.
Yeah, I definitely have to agree with you. And another thing we can look at here is the power play unit now with a guy like Elias Lindholm coming back the other way in this trade. We will probably see him headman this second power play unit in the center position. Obviously, Elias Lindholm is a great face-off taker. He's a guy who you need out there on the power play just to win those draws in the offensive zone and to get your team set up in that offensive zone during a power play.
Yeah, the thing is, he'll slide in perfectly on the second power play. He has a couple guys that can draw, just the attention. They shoot, pass, drive plays, so he'll fit perfectly. Sam Lafferty will just slide over to the left wing on this line. He has a lot of speed. He can still create chances, especially in front of the net. So I think this is going to be quite an underrated second power play. And honestly, the Canucks are a bit of a wagon right now. I mean, you can see my Canucks jersey in the background. I've been a fan for quite some time, and like I said, this is super exciting, and I could see a very deep run for them this season.
Yeah, I definitely have to agree with you here, Mark. And I know the trades is still in the works here. It is a done deal. Just getting the final details out here now. But we just before we hit the record button here, Mark, we did get a report saying that we may see Tanev going in this direction as well.
Yeah, no, that'd be insane. If they can get a guy like Tanev, I know there's a lot of reports saying that they wanted to kind of leave this for another deal. They didn't want to make too big of a deal where it's two players complement, kind of just make things harder. So I think they wanted to get this Lindholm deal done, and maybe they circle back on a guy like Tanev. It seems like the Canucks are hungry. They want to buy. They want to add as much as they can to this team, kind of reward the team. I mean, they're the top team in the NHL right now. I know Oilers fans, you're on a winning streak, but look at the standings. The Canucks are a wagon, and just adding a guy like Lindholm and potentially a guy like Tanev is just game changing.
Yeah, the Calgary Flames reunite in Vancouver with having Tanev and Zadorov there now with Elias Lindholm. I think this is a championship roster. I mean, I'm gonna pencil it in right now. I've been saying it. These guys are a wagon, like you said. I'm on the bandwagon right now, and I'm really excited to see them, kind of get going here after the All Star break with this new look Vancouver team.
Yeah, no, it's definitely going to be one that's going to come out of All-Star break, all cylinders firing. This team's just going to be so hyped about this. They're having a good season. Like I said, they are rewarding their guys. They're not looking at this team and saying, hey, you guys have been good enough. Let's ride it out. They're looking at this team and saying, hey, we know you can do it. Let's get you more help to ultimately, like you said, win the Stanley Cup, which Canucks fans really do deserve.
Yeah, I definitely have to agree with you. I mean, I think the Canucks organization is one of those organizations who deserve a Stanley Cup, and we need a cup back in Canada, Mark. We're both Canadians. We want to see a cup back in Canada, and why can't it be Vancouver? I really think right now they do have the roster for it. The funny part about this trade too is Elias Lindholm, I believe, was on a flight to Toronto for the All-Star game, and now he's a Vancouver Canuck, which is great to see. I'm really excited for this Canucks team, but there's another part of this trade that we're just going to touch on here. We may do a later video fully breaking this down because the details haven't fully been released on Calgary's side of it yet, and that is Kuzmenko heading to the Flames. And as we take a look here, Andrei Kuzmenko, a guy we've talked about quite a lot here on the channel. I mean, last year he had 74 points in 81 games, putting up 39 goals. Kind of having a lackluster year here in Vancouver. I think he needed to find a new home here, and right now he's got 8 goals, 13 assists here on this Vancouver team. And we're just gonna take a brief look at the Calgary Flames lines here. I believe this is a guy who could immediately slide into the second line left wing here, Mark, and really make an impact for this Calgary Flames team.
You might have seen me looking down. They actually just broke the full details, so this is a bit of a bomb, if you want to say. So right now, the Flames are getting a 2024 first-round pick, a conditional 2024 fourth-round pick, Andrei Kuzmenko, Joni Jurmo, and Hunter Brzustewicz. So the Canucks are kind of looking at this and saying, hey, we are moving a couple prospects, but these prospects aren't in their top five, in my opinion. The Flames are getting some great players in this, a first-round pick, a fourth, a guy like Kuzmenko that you were just talking about that can come in, impact this roster immediately for the Flames. He's a guy that you can maybe look to flip at trade deadline, maybe flip in the offseason, next trade deadline. This guy still has potential. This is not a cap dump. You're getting a guy back that was outstanding last season that just kind of struggled to start the year. Maybe a fresh start is what he needs. But honestly, looking at this, I think both sides really won. The Canucks get a guy. They're looking for the second line center. And like you said, with the Flames, they're getting back young picks, prospects, a first, a fourth, and a guy that they can either use for the next 2 years and like in Kuzmenko, or just kind of flip them at deadline for more assets while they go into this retool slash rebuild that they're really looking at.
Yeah, I mean, just hearing that right now coming from you, like I said, I think this is a win-win for both sides here, and it seems like maybe this Calgary Flames team may shift into a rebuild here now, getting two prospects back for these guys, but I think it's great for Calgary. Obviously, they were burned in the past with UFAs and stuff like this, having to let them walk, and this time they're not going out that way. They're going to get some value back for their guys who they don't think are going to re-sign, and I think it was a great option here for them to trade off Lindholm just to get some prospects. I believe Brzustewicz, he's a right-handed shot defenseman in the O with 60 points as a defenseman this year. I mean, this guy's going to be a future stud. And now shipping off, defenseman earlier the year, and now you have a prospect there who's hungry and wanting to get back up in the or wanting to get up in the NHL.
And the big thing is too, the Canucks are, or sorry, the Flames are not done. They have a guy like Tanev that they're still shopping. Like we said in this video, that they were looking at adding him in on this deal. Obviously, they just wanted to get this Lindholm deal done. And like I said in this tweet that I was just reading, there's a lot of pieces going the other way. So I don't think they wanted to just complicate things. So they wanted to get this done. But they still have a guy like Tanev that they can flip. This would be multiple picks coming back, prospects. I could see it being around the same kind of value that you're getting for a guy like Lindholm. And they still have Markstrom. There's a lot of teams looking for a goalie that can come in, win them games, kind of ride them out in the playoffs. So I could see a lot of picks and prospects still on their way to the Flames. And this just kind of helps with their root tool. And even if you wanted to go next season, you still have Kadri, you still have a guy like Jonathan Huberdeau. You have so many pieces on this team. You can kind of regroup in the offseason, make some signings, kind of use this general manager to add what he wants to this team so it's not really Brad Treliving's team, and just go from there and see can you get back into Stanley Cup contention.
Yeah, you said it perfectly there, Mark. Like you said, they're going to retool a little bit here, maybe tank a little bit for the rest of the season, and then this offseason is where we're going to see this new GM's footprint implemented into this team. And like you said, they're not, into the woods yet. They're still, clear of it. They don't have to go full rebuild here. They got some prospects. They got some capital here now that they can trade to, try to make a winning team here in Calgary. They got a guy like Jonathan Huberdeau, who was a great player in Florida during his time there. Nazem Kadri, a guy who's been playing phenomenal as well. So maybe you get a few signings here this offseason. And if you're a Calgary Flames fan out there watching this video, I wouldn't be too upset right now. I think you should be happy that you're getting something in return and not letting guys walk for nothing. But I really do think it's W's in the shot, as Drake would say, for both sides here. And I think this is just a great trade. The first of many that's going to come up over these next couple of weeks, and I'm really excited to get them going. And if there's any updates on this trade or if there's anything else that comes out, we'll keep you guys posted. And let us know down below in the comment section, what are your thoughts on this trade? Let us know down below. We really love to hear from you. But we're going to get into everybody's favorite topic here on the channel, and that is comment of the day. And the comment of the day today goes to David Osborne. He says, thanks for your work, guys. Great journalism. Shout out to you, David. Really appreciate your comment on the video. We know you're a Vancouver Canucks fan. We see you commented on all the Canucks videos. So shout out to you. You got a good trade here. Let us know down below. What do you think of this trade? And then once again, just thanks for your support. And if you enjoyed this video, make sure down below, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. We're on the road for 3,000 subscribers here. So I really appreciate it if you join the road with us. And if you're an NHL fan, make sure to check out this video we did on the channel just yesterday. And, as always, I've been your host, KC, alongside my co-host, Mark Pye. Keep your stick on the ice.